new month is here yet again. Today, I'm going to share with you my 5 skincare products of the month, things I tried out over the month of April and what I think about them. In no particular order, I gave Dove body wash a new chance. If you have been watching any of my vlogs over the years, you know I've always kind of been a little about Dove body washes. I much prefer their shampoos and conditioners. In my experience, a lot of their body washes kind of end up just feeling filmy. It's a personal thing. I don't really care for them. So I saw this eczema-prone skincare body cleanser with one of my favorite ingredients, colloidal oatmeal. And I thought I have to give this a try because one of my go-to body wash recommendations is the Aveeno fragrance-free colloidal oatmeal body wash. It's great. And I wanted to see, how does this stack up? All right, so like I said, it has colloidal oatmeal in it, which is really good for eczema. It's hydrating, it has soothing anti-inflammatory compounds. It actually has some natural detergent action to it, so it's great in a cleanser, and it forms this hydrating film on the skin surface that helps with barrier function. It comes out and feels more like a cream or lotion. It does lather pretty well. There's no foam action whatsoever. And it's almost like, wait, did I put conditioner on my body? Did I put lotion on my body? Is this a body wash? But you do get some lather with it. It's very creamy. I primarily use body wash to the skin folds, and I do like that this rinses off of the skin pretty easily. It doesn't appear to leave a residue behind, and it really does leave the skin feeling hydrated yet clean. There's no strip feeling with it. I think if you have eczema-prone skin, this is a great option, but it's a very interesting consistency, texture, and the way it performs is unique, to say the least, just in how it doesn't really quite feel much like a body wash. But if you are dealing with irritation, sensitivity on the body, you have a tendency towards dry skin, or maybe you have very mature skin, you know, with age, our skin's ability to retain moisture and defend against irritants declines with declining barrier function, especially in women around, perimenopause and postmenopausal skin states with a decline in estrogen, we are a lot more vulnerable to irritation. So I think this would be a good option in that regard. Right now, you can get it at Walmart for, I believe, $11, which it's not the least expensive and it's not the most expensive, kind of somewhere in the middle of the road. So I like it. I like it much better than the traditional Dove body wash. And so, yeah, I would use it again. Probably one of the reasons why I like it so much is the colloidal oatmeal. I find my skin just really gets along well with it. Okay, I have 2 products here to chat with you guys about from EOS, which stands for Evolution of Smooth. I just learned that this second in time. So this is a brand that is notorious for their lip balms. A few years ago, several people developed an irritant or allergic contact dermatitis from their lip balms, which is not uncommon with lip balm in general, but they kind of got called out for it, even though honestly, this is a problem, like I said, that can happen with pretty much any lip care product. But they've got, a wide array of other body care products, none of which I have ever tried. So first thing I noticed, because it was on Ibotta, a rebate app I used, suggested I buy this. It's the Shea Butter 24-Hour Moisture Body Lotion, fragrance-free with 7 nourishing oils and butters. This is a fragrance-free body moisturizer. I also comfortably use this on the face. It's pretty no-nonsense. It has shea butter and petrolatum and mineral oil, all of which are great at reducing water loss from the skin. And that's kind of pretty much about it as far as ingredients of note. It does not have niacinamide, so if you're sensitive to niacinamide, it burns or stings, you might consider giving this a try. These days, it's become increasingly difficult to find niacinamide-free skincare. Niacinamide, fantastic ingredient. As a side note, I love it, I adore it, I incorporate it. But for those of you who don't get along well with it, it can be quite difficult to get away from it. A minor inconvenience, I do not quite care for this pump head. It's a little too stubby and makes getting the product out efficiently quite challenging. I do like this little aesthetic divot here for picking up the bottle. I don't know, I find that's kind of nice to have a little something there to grab onto. I would definitely repurchase this again. I like it. It's not not like, wow, blowing my mind, but I really enjoy it. Now, what was it? A few months ago, I shared with you guys how I have been trying out Lubriderm's Advanced Therapy Lotion, and I like that product. I finished it, as a side note, but one of the things you'll recall when I talked about it is I didn't really care so much for how it kind of went on a little streaky and was slow to absorb. Those things about it didn't bother me enough to say, oh, I don't like this. Oh, I would never use this again. Because otherwise, I really liked it and thought it was a fair price, an effective moisturizer. Well, I decided to try their daily moisture lotion just to see how does it compare. Is it basically the same thing, just a different color label? And it actually is pretty similar in terms of performance, but I prefer the consistency of this above and beyond the Advanced Therapy. It is much more luxurious, lightweight. It does not do that streaky thing. It's not waxy like the other one. I prefer this one. It has shea butter and it has oat kernel oil. I think one thing about the other one is that it has titanium dioxide in it, which is fine. It's a whitening ingredient. And this does not. And I think that is what made all the difference in my personal liking of this over the other one. When I walk into the drugstore again seeking to buy another Lubriderm lotion, I'm gonna buy this one, probably not the Advanced Therapy one, unless they're out of this. That would be my second choice. They're both great. They both get the job done. They're both affordable. They're both fragrance-free. I just like the aesthetics of how this applies a little bit better, but otherwise fantastic. So I wanted to update you guys on that because Lubriderm is a brand that I haven't really dove into too much. So I wanted to start trying some other brands of things that you guys ask about, hence the EOS choice. Speaking of EOS, now you know I absolutely adore the Tree Hut Shave Oil. I mean, that was a 2023 skincare favorite. The scents on those are wonderful, but not headache inducing. They don't linger, but the overall formulation of that product for shaving is wonderful. And I had never encountered a product quite like that until Ibotta suggested to me the EOS Cashmere Bikini Shave Oil Serum. This is, in my opinion, just as good as the Tree Hut one. It's a very similar type of product, similar consistency, and performs in all of the favorable attributes of the Tree Hut Shave Oil. This has a really nice amber scent to it, and I am real picky about amber. Sometimes it can give me a headache, other times I can't get enough of it. So I really like the scent of this. It's warm, it's luxurious, it's kind of a Victoria's Secret adjacent scent. Like the Tree Hut ones, this does not linger on the skin. So what is it about these shave oils that I personally like so much and why I think they're so fantastic in comparison to a shave gel, a shave cream, a shave lotion? It's really all in how they perform. They're easy to spread on the skin surface while you are in the shower trying to do your shaving and all your other body care needs in there with the water beaten down on you or trying to turn the water off and shave and rinse out the razor blade. You know the choreography that's shaving your legs in the shower, trying to not nick your ankles, but you want to get out of there and get on with your life. All of that acrobatics aside, the thing about these shave oils that I like so much is that they don't end up making a mess all over your shower. You put them on the skin and they stay in place through the, again, choreography that is attempting to shave your legs in the shower. They don't end up all over the shower wall. But when it's time to rinse the shave residue off, they come off nicely, and importantly, they leave the skin soft, smooth. Sometimes I find certain shave foams, shave creams can almost be a little drying, leave behind a film. This is not the case with these shave oils, whether it be Tree Hut or this one from EOS. They are a much more sophisticated, moisturizing shave experience in comparison, in my opinion, to a traditional shaving foam, shaving cream, shaving gel, or shaving lotion. The other thing I like about them is that I find they are better at reducing shave irritation. And I also like that in contrast to like a shaving cream, These go on clear and colorless, so you can see the hair that you need to cut. A minor little difference in the different types of products, but why that makes a difference for me especially is that it helps me see visually where I have already shaved. And I don't end up shaving the same area multiple times, which is a major contributing factor to shave irritation and ingrown hairs. Going over the same area multiple times is not doing you any favors. But it's hard to avoid that when you're doing this shower calisthenics with the shave foams, creams, or whatever, trying to, not have it all go all over the place, trying to not waste water, but all, you know the deal. You know the deal. I would love to see a brand do a fragrance-free one of these because I think they could do it really nicely, make it a nice experience for people, and I think for people who are seeking to avoid fragrance, they would really appreciate it because there are really not many fragrance-free shave products out there. They exist, but they're few and far between, and if you don't like the ones that are out there, there's always room for other brands to swoop in and one-up what already exists. And I really think this is an opportunity for a brand to do this, and I've said this before, I don't see Tree Hut coming out with fragrance-free anything. People go to Tree Hut for their fragrances, and they come away from Tree Hut pleasantly surprised by the performance. But EOS, with this body lotion, has established themselves as wanting to dip their toes in the fragrance-free market, maybe because of their history with getting so much negative attention around their lip balms. Maybe they see, they can perhaps bolster their image a bit by having some more fragrance-free options available to people with sensitive skin. So EOS, if you're watching this, which I doubt, come out with a fragrance-free version of this in this line, the blue packaging, and put oat kernel oil in it. Just trust me, and it'll be amazing. It's very difficult for me to have a stuff I've tried out video without sharing with you guys some sort of sunscreen that I have tried out because I'm constantly buying and trying sunscreens, running the gamut from drugstore all the way through Sephora. We need to talk about what Coppertone has done here with their Sport Mineral SPF 50, 100% naturally sourced zinc oxide. This is a water-resistant zinc oxide sunscreen. Okay, the naturally sourced thing is a bit of a out there thing. Zinc oxide is, not something that skincare brands, my understanding, I'm not a cosmetic formulator, but what I've heard from them, it's not as though they're out there mining the zinc. A lot of this is synthetic. So I'm not sure about the naturally sourced claim. If Coppertone is in touch with a zinc mine somewhere, I would love to hear about that. But as far as I know, that seems a bit of a lofty claim. And you're like, who cares? I'm just pointing that out because a lot of people turn to zinc oxide or titanium dioxide because they have been misled into thinking that these are natural and anything else is chemical and man-made in a lab somewhere and must be deadly, when in reality, none of these ingredients in sunscreens are deadly and the majority of them are man-made. All that yammering aside, this one, there is definitely a white cast. Not as bad as some out there that I've tried and used, but it's definitely noticeable. It's noticeable on my skin. It makes me look gray, and it gives kind of this ashen, dull look. So if you have a deeper skin tone, in my opinion, it's likely to even look worse. Now, if you have a very pale skin type, you may be okay with this. You may already be someone who, say you're pale and you're really sensitive and zinc oxide, all mineral sunscreens is what you use and you don't mind the cast. You might give this a try because it's, like I said, it's pretty run-of-the-mill average, not as bad as many others. And it is water resistant, so that means it'll hold up well under humid, hot, sweaty conditions. Of course, you do need to reapply every 2 hours while you are outside participating in outdoor activities. If you get in the water and go swimming, once you get out, towel dry the skin and reapply. Even if it is water resistant, you still need to reapply, and when you get in the water, you need to reapply even sooner because it does come off. Now, one thing I will point out, a lot of people are seeking a sunscreen that will not burn or sting around the eyes. And I do often suggest in these cases, especially for American sunscreens, choose a zinc oxide sunscreen for around the eyes if you have sensitivities to other sunscreens, because the chemical sunscreens we have here, more appropriately termed organic, they often burn, sting, cause your eyes to water. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have fewer UV filters for our chemical sunscreens here, so they end up putting, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know the complete formulation explanation behind that, but it is something that a lot of people deal with. For the longest time for me, I always attributed it to oxybenzone, but that being said, oxybenzone has been removed from many sunscreens, and occasionally I do still experience that myself. So all that to say, try a mineral sunscreen. Now, if you're not in the US, I have never had a non-US chemical sunscreen. I shouldn't say never, but to my knowledge, I can't recall, at least recently, trying any non-American chemical sunscreen and having it burn or sting my skin, let alone around my eyes, causing blurry vision. I've tried many, as you guys know, from Japan, Korea, Canada, Europe, you know, different countries in Europe, and I've not quite run into that issue as far as I can remember. Definitely not recently. So keep that in mind, because when I give out the recommendation, try a mineral sunscreen around the eyes, it's not to say that you have to use them there. It's just, you know, something I recommend, especially here in the US with what sunscreens we have. They tend to be less likely to burn or sting. It is on the dewy side. Okay, that's the other thing that I know a lot of people don't care for, and it stays dewy. It stays kind of shiny and dewy. And so to what extent you're going to care for that, I'm not sure. I did not get any pilling with this, you know, where the sunscreen rolls up off the surface of the skin and peels and lifts up, looks like pilling of a sweater. I didn't get any of that. I was able to put makeup on over it, although I was not able to camouflage or rectify that grayish hue. As a side note, don't mix stuff into mineral sunscreens in an effort to get rid of the white cast. You will mess up the protection of the overall formula. All right, y'all, those are the fast 5 of the month. No, I'm obsessed, but some good ones nonetheless. Let me know, have you seen any of these at the grocery store, drugstore? Were you curious about them? This has been my experience. Nothing here is so bad that I won't finish it up, but of everything I've chatted with you guys about, stuff I would repurchase the EOS shave oil for sure. I would, especially if they come out with other scents, and especially if they come out with a fragrance-free one. I would repurchase the Dove Eczema skincare body wash. I would repurchase the Lubriderm Daily Moisture Lotion. Probably won't repurchase the Coppertone Sport Mineral, because personally, I prefer a sport chemical sunscreen. You know, that's just my preference. I like them better. I find that it's easier to get one that is like a quick dry formula. Like I love that Bullfrog one I shared with you guys last month. I would repurchase the EOS 24-hour moisture body lotion as well. You know, it's good. Like I would definitely reach for it again. Is it my holy grail? No, but there's that. All right, y'all. I hope this was informative to you guys and that you are having a great first day of the month, or whenever you're watching this. I hope your day, night, whatever, life are going swimmingly. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.